Stephen, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, there is a World Book Day is like a world movement. United Nations, of course, agrees that everybody should celebrate the joy of reading, sometimes just for enjoyment, just to encourage us to get into books. I mean, why is it so important for us to read and enjoy it?
Good morning. Yes, it is World Book Day, and UNESCO really does support this, and as does Project Literacy, and even the government has really got behind this, I think, especially in 2019. They launched the National Reading Collaboration on the 15th of February, and the whole idea is to just get people reading. Statistics have shown that if there are 20 books in a home, people are much more likely to be successful on both a social and economic level. And it is about reading for pleasure, or just reading. And what we're trying to encourage, we've got a project called Run Home to Read, which is, going into households. And I'm speaking the poorest of the poor households, the village huts, these kind of things, and just getting some books in there and working with the caregivers, the parents, the gogos, even if they are not fully literate themselves, you get books which are just picture books, and you can just storytelling. Africa's got a great tradition of storytelling. But to put it in the context of a book and try to build up a love of having a book in your hands, having books in your houses, I think that's what World Book Day is. What World Book Day is all about.
But then, how do you create access?
Sorry,
Stephen, just to cut you in there. How do
Yes.
we create access?
Yes.
I mean, it's one way to say let's read, but we know that many parts of our country may not have access to books.
Yes, I think that's what we as Project Literacy try to do. We have access to very, very remote places. We try and link with local municipal libraries, but as we know, even 20 Rand to spend on a taxi fare to go to a library is not going to be done in many areas. So we try to establish, that's why I say, we try and go into the households. We get sponsors, we get funders, we get donations of books and try and get it into the households. And then we also try to establish sort of mini libraries. So, for example, we'll go to a local clinic and ask them for shelf space so that we can put books on the shelves. Or we'll we've got a container library outside Zanini that was funded by 2 sponsors, and that kind of thing, to get small little mini libraries. But access to books is key, and you're very right. You also just don't want access to arbitrary books. So we work with other, we're a non-profit organisation, so we work with other non-profit organisations, and for example, there's an initiative by the South African Book Development Council to have books developed specifically for local audiences in the indigenous languages and so forth. And I think really what I've seen in 2019 in particular is a real willingness of organisations to work together to get books out there.
Okay.
There's actually there's a social media campaign at midday today on Twitter, #ReadsBecause, and we're encouraging people to just record a 10, 20-second clip of themselves, post it on there. I read because. Why do you read? Because there are a lot of people out there that read.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. It sounds like there's a lot of good efforts this year being put together to promote literacy and reading in our country. Thank you very much, Stephen Leroux from Project Literacy, talking to us about World Book Day.